Hey guys, how you doing? This is a brand new thing that we doing. It's called Behind the Console. My name is Dot the engineer. This is
Derek who?
who is Derek? And we were thinking about it for quite a minute. How long has it been since we kind of decided to do it?
It's probably been since mid to end of last year, just because me and Dot, we always talk about music, we talk about engineering, just everything in general all the time. So we thought, might as well just put on a podcast, share some information with you guys, and eventually we'll take it to other places as well where we'll be interviewing certain guests. So we just thought we'd start with the first episode to introduce who we are to you guys.
Yeah, 100%. And funny thing, a lot of people who knows they know, but who doesn't know they don't know. But this is actually my son.
This guy's sunning me on camera. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, it's like we've known each other for quite a minute. Derek used to be my intern. Right now, he runs his own institution at 669, where I used to reside. So it's definitely quite of a history that we have together. And we're hoping to, keep going and get it even further. But that was a quick little introduction just to, introduce our names. Today, we don't want to make it too long. We just want to talk about a couple of things and mainly to test everything out to make sure that all the lighting, all the cameras, everything is good, So that's kind of the thing. But let's do a quick introduction.
Okay.
Of ourselves, or maybe not introduction. Can you tell our audience how long have you been doing this? What was your journey until where you are right now? Just brief it quickly. Give them a little 1-2.
So I first started off as a music producer, actually. This was back in 2017. Yeah, 2017 when I first started off as a music producer. Back then I was at university. I was studying business and I just hated my life. And it's just one of those where I was like, I can't see myself doing this for the rest of my life. So I gotta start doing something that I'm actually passionate about, or I'm just gonna hate myself forever. So I thought about many things and I was like, the thing that resonates with me the most has always been music my entire life. I don't come from a very musical background or like a very musical family, but my entire life, music has just played such an important role in my life and I've never given it a shot. So honestly, it came on a whim in 2017. It's my 4th year at university and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna make beats. Let's just see what happens.
So question, I don't even think I ever asked you that. So you was in university studying business,
Yes.
but then you went to Metalworks after that? So you did another course? Okay,
Yeah, Metalworks after that. So I was making beats in my bedroom. I skipped all my classes. I was making beats in my bedroom every single day. And I remember I had a long conversation. I won't go too into depth about it, but I had a long conversation with my parents. Like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. I'm gonna try music. It was a whole thing.
Asian parents' biggest fear.
Biggest fear,
They thought that you're gonna be a rapper.
Yeah, literally. To them, they don't know the difference between producer, engineer, artist. Like, it's just like, well, they do now, but back then they're just like, oh my God, like my son's lost it, But long story short, I was making beats. And I decided I want to go into music. And then immediately after I graduated from university, I went straight into Metalworks and I did the audio production engineering program for 1 year. And that's where I really learned about engineering, because more engineering focused than production. It was a bit of both, but you know how Metalworks is. But it opened my eyes and, introduced me to the world of engineering. And I thought to myself, like, this is something that I could do instead of the production. So after Metalworks, I did the internship with you, and I also did the internship at Noble for 3 months. And then, that's basically where it all started. And from there, I just learned just by coming into the studio every day, watching you, meeting people at 669, connecting with people at 669. Obviously, that was a very important part of my journey into becoming an audio engineer. And then I started my own studio back in Mississauga in 2020. And then...
Oh, you started your studio in 2020? Like COVID?
Yeah, COVID. That's when I started. Because I graduated 2018, went to Metalworks, graduated 2019, the end of 2019, and that's when I met you. And then remember, I was like building everything. And it basically wasn't ready till January 2020.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so 2020 was my first year.
Okay, makes
So yeah,
sense. Makes
and then from there just kept working. Literally just did it every day, recording, mixing, all of that stuff every single day. And here I am now. Now I'm downtown. Took over 669 from Dot after he moved here to 334, where we're currently sitting right now. And the journey continues from here, man.
Man, that's a
Long story short, man.
beautiful story. Beautiful story. You know. You know what? I've known you for a minute, and even your Mississauga studio, I thought it was much longer than that.
Yeah, it was from 2020 to when did I move to 669? 2024.
3.
Oh, 3. Yes, November 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I moved, because that's when you moved out. So
Yeah.
2020, 21. 4 years.
You know,
Yeah, 4 years.
crazy how time flies, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Mississauga studio was experience though. It's funny because it's literally in the basement of my house. You know, my parents are upstairs,
Yeah.
and then we have all these kind of people. I won't go into detail, but different kinds of people coming to the house. It's just interesting, man.
I mean, hey, man, you got to start somewhere, you know. And I think doing that in a place where you don't have to be financially strained, you know, every single month.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
kind of like it builds you to understand how everything works, how the clients work. You meet so many different characters, and I guess that's kind of how you learn the type of people that you're gonna be dealing with for the rest of your life. You
No,
know?
100%, 100%. It was good because, you know, I didn't have the pressure of having to pay rent.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's at my house. So that allowed me to make mistakes and not like necessarily take my time, but just not have as much burden or pressure, because then I was able just to focus solely on the music.
Yeah.
Because if I had to pay rent, I would have to go get a job.
Yeah.
You know, I had to work part-time somewhere, do this just to pay rent for the studio, but I was able to stay at home, you know.
Yeah.
Shout out to my parents, great people,
Shout out to
very
your
supportive people. Yeah, man, it was a good experience.
That's dope.
It's a good experience, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. All right, man. So what about you, Mr. Engineer for 20 years, huh?
Hey, man.
OG.
OG, super
OG in the city. GOAT in the city. Legend in the city, man.
Hey,
One of the pioneers of Toronto engineering, man.
it kind of feels like it, I guess. But I would say, the era that I come from when it comes to engineering, times were very different. Everything was very different.
Fuck.
And I was engineering back even when I was in Poland. I just didn't
did?
quite. Yeah.
I never told me that.
Yeah, I had a studio back in Poland.
How old are you?
Maybe 16,
Wait, so you moved to Canada at what age?
18.
Oh, so you were living in Poland for 18 years.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. But you learned English there?
Well, I'm half Nigerian, right? So it's like English was just part of
Oh, true.
part of my upbringing. I just always spoke, right? My dad speaks English, Polish, French.
But it's like English, you know how in certain countries is a mandatory part of your curriculum?
I had English in school. I had English in the elementary, high school.
Okay.
So basically in Poland, the way how it works, you have to choose 2 languages. So back in the day, it used to be Russian, because Russia used to have a big, it was a big part of like Polish history in the sense where like, they were like controlling a lot of stuff. So I guess my parents' generation, these guys used to study Russian. So they would do Russian and German. But by the time when I was in school, it was English and German.
Okay.
And it depends on the side of Poland too, because certain schools were doing like English and French. Some of the schools were doing like German and English. Some of the schools still had Russians. Like you could choose languages. I was doing both German and English.
Okay, true.
But that's not really. It's kind of related, but not really related. But yeah, back then, I'm actually gonna find pictures of my very first studio one time, and I'm gonna show you. It was I had the egg cartons like in the corner
For panels?
Yeah, for the panels. That's the only thing I could afford at the time.
Yeah, it actually works. It probably works to a certain
It
degree,
works
right?
to a certain extent. It's not perfect, but it works.
Yeah, it diffuses the sound.
Yeah, for sure.
Changes direction of the waves. Yeah.
So I remember it was me, my brother, and my friend. We did it at the time. And again, at the time, I didn't really know much about what engineering is. I kind of, we were making music and all that stuff. I was producing, playing piano, this and that, rapping a little bit at the time. We all
Rapping? You never told me this.
Oh yeah,
Polish? Or English?
It was English.
No way. Yeah.
It was hilarious.
You still have the
Hell
recording?
no, I record. I mean, I deleted all of that shit. But anyway, just a quick little story. But anyway, the studio, the way how I had it set up, and at the time I had no idea what is what. My very first setup, I had the little Behringer mixer. I think it was like Behringer 802.
Okay.
So I was like, that was like my very first console. I had like this cheap Chinese microphone. At the time, I thought that I like ruled the world because I had no idea that there's actually other microphones,
Yeah.
So I had to connect it, and I had like a old setup. It was like a hi-fi setup, the speakers, like a
Yes.
little amp and all that stuff. So I just had it plugged into my computer, and one speaker was in one corner, like to the side, and the other speaker was like on the shelf, like in the back.
That's crazy.
But again, at the time, look, there was no YouTube. There was like
100%.
internet wasn't what it is right now. So it's like, I didn't really know much.
Because that's like early 2000s, right?
Yeah, that was like 2003 too,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
That time. So yeah, it was man, it was rough times. It was a long time ago. It was rough times, but it's kind of the same thing as you said. I wanted to do something that I'll feel that I want to do it.
Yes, exactly.
And I knew that that was something that I really wanted to do. I just didn't know that audio engineering existed. Like that term, audio engineering, because I would do all those things. Like I would EQ, compress, and
But you didn't know you were engineering.
yeah, I had no idea because I didn't know what audio engineering back then wasn't really
Glorified thing,
yeah, it wasn't popular.
Yeah.
Nobody really knew what audio engineering was.
for sure.
Excuse me. I found out about it, and I was actually supposed to go. I was supposed to study in London for audio engineering. I was supposed to go to Point Blank. That's the name of the school.
That still exists. No?
Yeah, they I
Sounds
think
familiar.
they are. I think one of the biggest audio engineering schools in UK. They still around. They still around.
True.
So I was there. I was in London at that time. I was about to, I kind of check the city and see how everything works and all that. And at the time, I had no idea that we're actually gonna move to Canada. So not ideas, but my plans were a little bit different. And then when I was in UK, I got a text message basically saying, okay, yeah, December 10th, we move into Canada.
From who? Your parents?
Like, yeah, it was I think it was my mom texted me. Yeah, I think so.
The crazy thing to break through.
Yeah, and I was already out there, But again, it's like I wasn't planning to start right away, but I was fresh out of high school. I didn't want to study anything in Poland.
Yeah.
And I was the last year at the time when it was mandatory to go to army. So
So if you didn't move, you would have had to go to the army.
So if I don't move, if I don't move or I don't go to school like university or anything else, I have to go to army. And men like me was not trying. Men like me was not trying to run it,
It's crazy.
So I moved here in 2006. And I was definitely producing much more. I think I would say like this: I was producing, but I always spend more time engineering. I would do something and then I would spend hours just trying to make it sound good and all that. And that was what I really enjoyed.
So you would say you enjoyed that. At that time, you enjoyed that more than the producing itself?
Yeah, 100%. I just like the technical aspect of things much more.
Making it sound better, cohesive.
Exactly. I mean, again, at the time, I would say it sounded good to me, but there's not as many tools and options and stuff that I could use to really learn. I remember I was sound on sound or gear sluts, and there's certain really limited options. YouTube was in the very early stages.
Pensado was around those times, no?
No, I think Pensado started around 2011-ish.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, a little bit later. But that's when YouTube, I think YouTube became popular around 2010, not, I think 2009, 10,
When YouTube became popular?
Yeah, because YouTube been around since probably 2003.
I'm trying to even remember when I even started watching YouTube. I was in middle school for sure.
Yeah. But, doesn't really matter. But anyway, going back to the thing. So I was doing that. And at the time I was working construction. One of my friends at the time, I was just looking for a job, and we randomly went to a bar to have a beer, and we were just talking, and there was this guy, I remember his name, Ziggy, Polish guy, and we just I don't know if he was his dad's friend or something. We just had the conversation, And I was like, yeah, I'm looking for a job. It's like, can you do construction? I was like, not really. Do you want a job? I'm like, yeah, okay, we're gonna teach you. So that's kind of how it started, you know?
Yeah.
And at the time, again, it definitely was something that helped me make money to put towards music. I'm not gonna lie, I think every of my checks I was spending towards, like, you know, buying speakers, buying something, keyboards, this and that. So it's like I burned most of the money on like gear.
Yeah.
But I don't regret it. I just needed to, you know, I just needed to start somewhere. And then I started building things. I had the studio in the condo at the time in Mississauga.
Right.
And, you know, I guess the time that I was doing that was probably like, what, 20, when was the recession? 2009,
2000.
10?
I feel like we should know.
See, for you it was COVID. For me it was the recession.
2008, no?
I think it was, no, it must have been like a little bit later, maybe 9. But anyway, around that time. So for you it was COVID that kind of put you in the studio. For me it was a recession. I was like, they laid us off because there was as much construction jobs and all that stuff. Like, they would call me up once every now and then, like, oh, just do some random stuff here and there.
Yeah.
But then I was like, man, I really need to like fully focus on music, you know? So I started, you know, every day, like 8 hours a day, just music every day, you know, doing that things. And then I wasn't really making money of it. So I was like, fuck, I need to find a job again. You know, so I found this other random guy that was doing construction as well. And I was like, hey, I used to do construction. I was like, you know what, let me do it. I literally lasted 2 days. I went home with tears in my eyes and I said, I promised myself, I said, I'm never gonna do this shit ever in my life
Shout out
again.
to the construction worker.
Oh yeah, 100%. This guy was an asshole too. This guy
Yeah.
was such an asshole, bro. This guy, I remember one time we were doing like tiles in the washroom, and mine, that was like my first day. This guy just left me by myself to do the whole thing. He was like, yeah, just, and the tools were shit. Like it was just bullshit. But anyway, as I'm saying, I got back home and I was like, you know what, whatever. Then I just like fully sacrificed every single hour of my day, every single minute. And I was just like music. And slowly it started like, you know, picking up. Like I started having clients and I was going to places. Like at the time I had like my a production demo of like just beats that I did.
Yeah.
And at the time there was CDs, like, you know, there was still no streaming, no nothing. So one of my boys used to work at the, what was the name of that shop? It was like a urban clothing store, the Jump Off in Mississauga. I think it might still be around. It used to be big. They had a couple of locations, Mississauga, Hamilton, I think Toronto and stuff like that. So I dropped him off like 50 or 100 CDs. And I was like, yo, if somebody buys, you know, clothes for like whatever, $50, $100, just toss the free CD with the thing, with the beats. And all my information was there, like, you know, my phone number, like thing. And people started calling.
Lit.
You know, so I started like having like, oh, I got your CD from this and that and that. You know, I started booking sessions and all that stuff.
Fire.
And again, I feel like, I think in the beginning, you know, I wasn't charging a lot. I think I started with like $15 an hour or something. Which, you know, back then it was still all right
Back
money.
in 20, what again?
Probably like 10-ish.
2010, 15.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, slowly I started like meeting more people and just being around the Toronto scene, going to places, open mics, and just really trying to network and, you know, be around. And then slowly people started to recognize my name. And you know, I was trying to save. I was as much money as I was spending at Long McQuaid. Shout out to Long McQuaid. Hopefully we're gonna get some sponsorship from these guys, you know, because the amount of money that we spend at Long McQuaid, I think it would be nice to get something back.
It'd be crazy.
But yeah, going back to the thing. So I was trying to save as much money as I could and still, you know, upgrade the equipment and get better mics, better whatever I could get, right? And at the time, I met a lot of people too. And, you know, a lot of people that used to record in my closet and stuff, and like, you know, just being around, like some of these guys are successful right now. You know what I mean? Like a lot of guys that are doing some moves right now and like are signed and stuff, like they've been around for a minute. It's a grind, right? It's like, how long can you do it and, you know, 100%. Be around? So I saved some money and going back to 6ix9ine, at the time it was, I believe it was 2014. So, you know, as I'm thinking about it, you open your studio in
2020.
2020, and then it took you basically 4 years
to
to move to 669. And
Yeah.
kind of the same thing for me. It's like 2010 is when I really started doing things.
Yeah.
And then like by 2014, I found 669 in 2014. I moved 2015, but I
not
locked
in
everything in 2014.
True.
You know, so, and at the time too, is like, look, everything I was doing was just music. I didn't have like anything, I didn't have a business open. I didn't know nothing, none of those things. I was just working. And I think I had maybe $8,000 saved up at the time. You know what I mean? Which is not really a lot of money, but you know, that's all I had saved up, you know what I mean? But I was able to finesse it. I was trying to get a loan from the bank. I got declined. I was trying to like shark loan, like whatever shark.
Payday loans?
Yeah, like the payday loans. I wasn't even trying to get one of them, but those are the only guys that were calling me because I had it on Kijiji. I'm like, I'm looking for a loan to open a business, blah blah. So these guys are calling me. It's like, do you have a house? Do you have this? I'm like, bro, what is happening? So I was literally, I gave up. I didn't give up, but I was like, you know what? I was just like, man, this is not happening. Like whatever. And then randomly, this one guy, I still remember his name, Perry, called me, Chinese guy. That's why I fucks with Chinese people. I fucks with you guys. So he calls me. It's like, hey, Dominic. I'm like, yep. I saw your ad on Kijiji. So how much are you looking to get? So I told him, I was like, I think I wasn't even trying to get that much because I was like, I got 8 grand saved up. I think I wanted to get like, I got 15, but he was like, oh, you can get anything from like 10,000 to 200,000.
200. He worked at a company?
I don't know what he was doing, but all I know is that he worked for some private bank.
Okay.
And they did kind of finesse because the loan that you're getting is like, they basically, I don't know if it's legal to, whatever, I'm gonna say it anyway. So they take money from somebody's RSP. They give it to you.
That's not legal.
Whatever is
Automatically not legal.
Look, I'm just telling you what he explained to me. So they take money from somebody's RSP.
Okay.
They give it to you, and again, the percentage rate was only like 1.5%, so it's a super blessed deal.
Yeah.
So I was like, I calculated everything, and I was like, what is the least amount of money that I would need to borrow to make it to start in the game? And I think it was like 15K, and I had to give him like 1,500 for the, you know, being the middleman and all that stuff. But anyway, we signed everything. He fixed it up. He was like, what's your credit score? I'm like, I didn't know my credit score. I didn't know none of those things.
Yeah.
So he just wrote everything down. And he calls me within a week. Yeah, you got approved. You're good to go.
So he finessed it for you.
He finessed it for me. He blessed me. I'm not gonna lie, you know? And at the time, that was around the same time when Yoko called me and he was like, yo, Doc, I got this spot. It's crazy. You gotta come and see it. This and that. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna come and see it like after New Year's. Like, nah, you gotta come like today. So I think I literally went the next day and I went up the stairs. I remember it was me and Bobby. I was walking up the stairs at 669 and I was like, this is the spot. Like I knew it. I felt the energy. I saw the skylight and everything. And I was like, this is the spot.
Yeah.
Funny because there was 2 spots that I was viewing that day. There was a spot on College, or no, it was Blur. It was nice. The guy wanted a little bit less for it, had the patio and stuff, but I just didn't feel the vibe. It wasn't quite what 669 gave me feeling wise. And you know, I went there, checked the spot, and I was like, when is it available? And they were like, yeah, it's basically whenever you want it. So I was like, you know what? Let's make it happen. So I went to see Musa. You know, these guys were trying to play scare tactics, like, we don't play no games if you don't pay the rent. You know, you know this guy, you know what I mean? Just all that. And signed the papers, gave him the deposit, money, first, last, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, so can I start? This guy was trying to charge me for the extra 2 weeks because I started like doing everything like mid-February. Okay. And my lease started in like March. Like, or actually, no, sorry. I started doing everything. It was not February. I think it was January. January 15th is when I started working on 669, and my lease started from February.
So he tried charging you from the middle of January?
Yeah, so I was like, basically I was like, yo, so can you give me like 2 weeks for free, like for me to start doing renovation and all that stuff? You know, it took me a little bit of convincing, you know what I mean? But he was like, okay, you know.
He actually gave it to you?
Yeah.
Wow, I read it.
I mean, look, it was worth to him anyway.
Yeah, obviously.
Because I did all the work. And so, you know, me and Bobby, shout out to Bobby, We started putting everything together. Bobby did a lot of, like, he did all the planning. He did, like, you know, I had experience in construction because that's what I was doing before. So I knew how to drywall, I knew how to do the doors, I knew how to do windows and all that stuff. So I did a lot of that stuff, but Bobby was doing all the heavy lifting, all the like cutting this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna move this, we're gonna change the door frames, we're gonna do this. Like we did all that stuff. You know, spend a lot of again, with the money that I had saved up plus the loan, like I just made everything work. It was like, it costed me probably like around 25-ish thousand at the time to get everything rolling. And I'm talking about just upstairs. I'm not talking about downstairs.
Right.
Because Studio B itself took me like, I think, because Studio B almost took a year to finish.
Damn, that's crazy.
So I was paying the rent on that spot for a year without making any money.
Right.
So that plus, you know, the electrical and all that stuff, it costed me a lot. I don't even know how much, but it costed me a lot of money to really put it together. But, you know, I feel like it was worth it. And I think 6ix9ine became especially as for the time that I was in. And the thing is that time when I opened the studio, immediately within 2 months or 3 months, it became the most busy studio in the city. So the money that I spent, it was worth every single penny because the money was coming in like crazy.
You made it back quick.
Oh yeah, super quick. That's why I had to like expand basically overnight.
Yeah,
like you know, to get Studio B rolling, and that was 3-4 months in. Starting the thing, you know. So that was the thing, and where I was at 6ix9ine for 8 years, and you know, I met you, Brandon. I mean, I met so many great people at 6ix9ine. You know, I mean, great artists, great producers, writers, everybody. You know, it was definitely like a social spot. And I think before COVID, times were a little bit different. Things were
for sure
kind of in a little bit different space. That was like that. And I hope we're gonna have an era even better than that. But like that 2015 to 2020, that was like that gold time for Toronto music where everything was really, really booming, you know what I mean?
I think in general though, even just music as a whole, like if we're comparing it to how music has been for the past few years, I think that 2015 to 2020 era, like as a whole was just legendary for music.
It's definitely...
It set the foundation for so many things that we hear today.
Yeah. But that, you know what's funny? I feel like... I feel technically, from a technical perspective, that era, we didn't know what we were doing musically. We were just having fun and we were trying to make the best music possible with the resources that we have.
Right.
And the music, as great as it is for what it wasn't like technically perfect. Where right now, I feel like Toronto is in a much better place when it comes to technicality.
In terms of like
the artists are better and like the music just sounds better from a technical perspective.
You mean like quality?
Quality
like
and
recording, mixing, etc.
Yes, plus the artists. Like I feel like artists right now are technically better than what the artists were back then. Technically. But I feel like some of the vibe kind of got lost in that technicality. You know, that roughness, that raw sound, it kind of got taken away. But I think, you know, there's so many things that are part of it. I mean, we got labels right now downtown, Sony, Universal, Warner. Like back then, none of the labels were in the city.
There's no Canada division, right?
Yeah, they had divisions, but they were like in Scarborough, like up north, I think. Like they weren't
as big as they are now.
Yeah, like, and downtown was a very different place.
I can imagine.
You know, it's like there's so many new buildings and everything. Like the infrastructure kind of grew around downtown. But with that infrastructure coming in, it's weird to say, but it didn't help the actual growth
of the city.
Kinda, yeah.
You're talking about music strictly, right?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe that's just the way how I feel, right? But again, I think it's like, you know, COVID was also a big part of that because everything got shut down. So we still kind of living in that post-COVID era where things are getting better, but we still kind of feel it. And even though nobody really says that COVID is around for like probably past 3 years or something, it still kind of feels like we still in that 2020 era. It's like, it's gonna linger around probably for like probably a decade, you know?
I know what you mean. I think especially right now, just because of how the economy is. it just feels like the world is struggling, you know?
Yeah,
and we're
for
still
sure.
recovering from them COVID times, but it's improving. And you know, I think give it a couple years, we'll get back to
Yeah.
that golden age again, you know?
Yeah,
That
for sure.
2015, that the 2020 timeline you're talking
Yeah.
about.
So anyway, going back to the thing, because we went a little bit off the topic. I was at 669, and then 2023, I moved to 334, which was also a little bit of a, you know, it took me a long time to find this spot.
For sure.
And I think everything worked out in the long run, and he was ready to, you know, move into 669. And
Yes.
as much as, you know, I put a lot of work and everything to 669, I didn't want to just to kind of let it go and let it be, you know? So
For sure.
for me, it's just knowing that you're there and, you know, Mark is still there and you guys are doing your thing. Like, you know, all the work that I put in it, it's still paying off, you
For
know,
sure,
because
100%.
you guys are, you know, you have clients. And even for me, it's like, look, I never even said it. It's a proud father moment right now, you know, but like, I'm proud of you that you was able to, you know, take everything that that you've learned throughout the years, and you was willing to do that jump and be like, you know what, I'm ready to do it. Let's do it. I remember the first, you was so hesitant. You was like, I don't know, fam. Like, I don't know if I'm ready, fam.
Yo, it's-
that, you know,
It's
I mean,
hard, man. It's
no,
a
it
hard
is.
decision because it's like, it's just like, bro, you're going from, and I get also, it's also because, you know, I realized at a certain point I was comfortable
Yeah, yeah.
being in the basement.
Yeah.
And when I realized it started getting like, you know, I'd wake up, go downstairs and I started feeling like, you know, I'm not really feeling as inspired
Yeah, yeah.
or motivated, which is also the reason why you felt like you had to leave
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
669. So I guess for both of us, it was like we felt like where we were at that time was coming to an end.
Yeah, yeah.
And we both needed a change in environment to level up.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if I was still in the basement today,
You'd be depressed.
oh my God.
If I was still at 669, I would be depressed.
Exactly.
100%. You know?
Like, look how much bigger of a space you have here.
100%. And I feel like this comes like, you know, we can't do this. We can like have this conversation right now.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things that we do, it leads to new things that, you know, we're trying to do and we're trying to accomplish, right? So
For sure, 100%.
I think that's like one thing that we should stress, or we should tell to, like, you know, the guys who are whatever 16, 17, 18 right now, the younger guys that are they want to be engineers in the future. Pace yourself, move at the right pace. But when the time comes and you feel like it's time to move, you got to make a move, because if you're going to miss the cue, you might miss it forever,
100%.
you know?
100%. There's never, I think what I've realized too is like there's never a perfect time to do anything.
No.
You know, sometimes you just gotta just literally say fuck it
Yeah, yeah.
and just do it and just figure it out. But obviously, you know, plan it, you know, make your calculations, but don't wait for that perfect moment, that perfect day where you're like, you know what, like this is the perfect day, like everything is aligned, everything is ready to go. Like sometimes you just gotta do it, man.
You got to do it.
You know?
And I think doing it by yourself is the best way to do it.
For sure.
Because even before 669 and stuff, at the time, I had two of my boys that were like, you know, yo, let's do it. Let's do studio together, this and that. So we had all the meetings and we like planning things out, this and that. And it's like, yo, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Let's do it. So, you know, I was in Mississauga at the time. I didn't have a car or anything, so I just gotta, like, you know, transit myself out here and, you know, have the conversations. We sit and talking, planning this and that. And then I started going to places. I started looking, viewing
Right.
spots, talking to people, talking to landlords. And then, you know, we all supposed to be partners. There was one guy that was supposed to be a partner. I never even met this guy. It was just my boy's friend that had a studio somewhere in Scarborough, and he was looking to move downtown. So I was doing a lot of things, trying to figure things out. And then one day, randomly, I didn't even know one of my boys at the time that was supposed to do the management role kind of thing. He just moved out of the country. He never said anything. He just moved out of the country.
See, this is a thing too, you know, that we both come to realize working in music is just, for some reason in this industry, you meet a lot of people like this.
Yeah,
a lot
100%.
of unreliable people. So doing partnerships and doing these kinds of things with people, you have to be very careful because
Yep.
some people just disappear, man.
They just disappear.
Some people just disappear. So I agree with you. I think, you know, when you're first starting off, it's better to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
So at least like you can figure out how to operate your own studio, how to
Yeah.
build your own studio, how you want to run your own business. And I think ultimately in the future, if you feel like you've met someone or like for example, like me and you, we've discussed even getting a studio together.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when you meet someone who you're like, okay, like we're on the same path, we have the same mindset
Yeah.
about things, like that's when you're like, okay, now we can do this kind of thing.
The thing is that when me and you we're gonna open that space, we're gonna find that it's gonna be lit.
Yeah, 100%.
But like,
It's gonna be crazy.
But the thing is that we know that you're not gonna bail out, and I'm not gonna bail out.
No. That's exactly, that's
You
what I'm
know?
saying. I'm
It's
not
like-
moving some next country. Yo, Dot, by the way, I'm moving back to China tomorrow, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like, I think having people in your life that you trust is very important. And even when it comes to internships, like, look, I've had plenty of interns. Crazy stories with the interns. I don't even want to say on the camera, man.
For sure.
Crazy stories with interns that I'm not gonna say on camera. But realistically, like when it comes to like really good interns that I feel that took the knowledge, engineering knowledge, and did something with it, was really only you, Johnny, and Brandon.
Shout out Johnny and Brandon.
You know what I mean? Those are 3 of you guys
Out of what, like, how many interns do you think you've had? 20, 30?
I think over more than 20, less than 30.
Okay, so somewhere between 20 to 30.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing too. It's like, that's also, I think, an insight towards, you know, especially these days, engineering is so popular and
Yeah.
everyone's trying to be an engineer.
Yeah.
But sometimes people obviously want to be engineers for different reasons.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
You're an engineer because you love music. I'm an engineer because I love music. Some people want to be an engineer, open a studio because they think it's cool, or like they think like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna make some quick money off of this. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's only the passionate ones who survive.
Yeah, I think it's like when it comes to engineering and the path to success, because that's kind of how I see it. You have to see it in different levels, different steps, right? Where you are right now is what I was,
Yes.
you know, when I opened 669, right? But then it's like that burned me out, working with a lot of people and just like dealing with the certain personalities just to get the money. But again, it's something that has to be done because you can make money and you can grow. But then it's like once you reach certain level when you feel like the money is not worth everything else, you kind of got to move on to a little bit different way of thinking.
Definitely. You got to adapt. You got to change your business model. You got to
Exactly.
be more selective with who you work with. And I think for you, because you've been doing music now for about, what, 15 years?
More than
15
15 years, I would say full time. More like probably like 17 years where I'm
Yeah.
like nothing else other than music, but I've been doing music forever.
Yeah.
Like, you
I
know.
think if I were also you, after doing it for so long, meeting so many different people, like I would have also, if I were you right now, I would be the exact same.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't have time for
Yeah.
little nonsense,
Yeah.
little bullshit.
I think that's why my fuse is so short. It's like when something happens and it just rubs me the wrong way, I don't even want to work with that person.
100%.
It's like
100%.
they can be calling me, texting me. I'm like, I don't have time for this. I don't want to deal with this.
For sure.
I'm much rather miss out on the money and just keep moving than
sure.
be like, oh, because then it's like if I just do it, I know it's like I'm just doing it for the money at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, so
Yeah.
that's not always again, different times, different levels, and I feel like as time goes, we just gotta keep growing. And I'm pretty sure at some point you're gonna be like, you're still fresh at 669, but at some point you're gonna be like, fuck very specific person. We're not gonna say
Yeah.
and you're gonna be like, yo, I'm done. I gotta move on.
Yeah.
Same thing with with the people that you work with. You probably who you work with right now, you probably only gonna have 20% of the people left.
Yeah.
And I think when it comes to music too is, they say only a very small percentage of people make it.
100%. It's the same for artists, producers, engineers,
100%.
songwriters, anyone, literally anyone in music.
Yeah.
Only such a small percentage make it.
Because only the best really can make it.
Yes.
But the best doesn't always mean the most talented. It's just your resistance to
sure.
everything that comes your way. And just believing in yourself, believing in the vision that you have is really gonna take you to the places that you want to be.
Yeah, you have to be borderline crazy.
Oh yeah.
Borderline delusional.
Yeah, you have
know?
to be.
You have to be.
But the thing is that, you know what the crazy thing with being delusional is like you have to be delusional, but you also have to be realistic.
Yeah, it's a balance.
It's a balance
It's a
between
balance.
those two because the delusion makes you believe that you can do it,
Mm-hmm.
but the reality check helps you understand, helps you to stay grounded. Be like, you know what? I am here and I need to do this to take me to the next level.
For sure.
There are people that are delusional, but they're not realistic. They already feel like they are,
Yeah.
you know,
We've met
here.
people like that.
So, oh yeah, 100%. Look, I know people that send me demos sounded like shit,
Yeah.
and they thought that they sound like Chris Brown.
Yeah, trust me, man. We've all gotten those ones.
You know, so
We've all
it's
gotten
like
those ones.
it's just like you have to be realistic about it. I think realistic is one thing, but you have to be able to look in the mirror and be like, I am good or I am shit. But what I can do to get better than what I am right now.
Facts.
You know, and you always got like, I think even when it comes to engineering, what works, what doesn't work, what equipment you're gonna go with, what speakers you're gonna have, like all those little decisions matter because that's gonna be a part of who you're gonna become sonically as you keep going.
100%.
You know, so
But yeah, man, I think I don't want to keep going off too much on a
Yeah,
tangent. you know?
facts.
This first episode was
you gotta leave a little bit for the other episodes.
exactly.
You know?
This first episode, I think, was mainly for us to just introduce ourselves, introduce the podcast, and yeah, so you guys know a little about us, about our journey, and what's to come. I think for future episodes, I think we've discussed, you know, we want it to be informative. Of course,
Yep.
some episodes we want to talk about engineering,
Yep.
talk about our favorite plugins, gear, you know, our mixed decisions, mixed flows, like all kinds of engineering stuff. But we want to also invite guests, you know,
Yeah.
producers, managers, A&Rs, songwriters, etc.
Everybody,
We want to invite everybody. So yeah, we want to keep it fun. We want to keep it informative. Yeah, just go from here.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. And I have my own channel too, Dot the Engineer. So look at that. I have
Guy
to
plugs
I
himself
have to
in.
plug myself in. You know, it's a little bit different vibes, but you know, I do it. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, watching us, and we trying to do it every week.
Yes.
So hopefully, God willing, everything goes according to the plan. And subscribe and comment. We need
Yes.
comments and we need subscriptions and share it.
Subscribe, comment, like, everything.
Everything.
Share with your mom, dad, brother, sister, everyone.
Everybody. Everybody. You know what I mean? Who else? Cats, dogs,
Yeah.
everybody. You know.
Everyone, man.
But yeah, shout out to you guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.